What's going on, guys? My name is Lubcubs and welcome back to another video on the channel. Guys, today we are jumping into 1.19.4 and seeing what's new in this update. This update is actually pretty huge for data pack makers, map makers, developers, all those kinds of people because it adds in a lot of useful entities and very useful commands. The first command being the /damage command. So if I just spawn in a little husk here, you'll see that we now have the ability to /damage, and then you choose your amount of damage, the damage type. You have a whole bunch of options to choose from, and then you can say who executed this damage. So if I hit this guy, he gets hurt, just like that. Beautiful. So using the damage command, because we can actually tell it who executed the damage, I can tell this iron golem that villager hit him, and watch what happens. The iron golem gets angry at the villager and attacks. Thanks, dude. Onwards, we've got the ride command, and it's exactly what you think it is. You can make a creeper ride a pillager, and it's actually very simple. You just say /ride, choose the mob that you want to mount, or the mob that you want to ride the other mob, tell them to mount or dismount, and then you choose the mob that they're riding. It's actually very, very cool. This can be super useful in like maps and whatnot. If you want to have a mob run over to a minecart, tell the mob to get in the minecart, and then have them run off. I don't know, I'm just throwing little ideas in here just to show you guys the potential. And of course, you also have the ability to ride the mob. I don't know how useful this is. I can't control the mob, but you know, you can force players to ride entities now. Kind of cool. The next command that we have is a game rule. /game rule, do vine spread, false and true. If I add these vines, like the weeping vines here, the twisting vines, and regular vines, and just speed up our game tick, you'll notice the vines spread. Now if I do that again with the game rule, do vine spread, false, you'll see that regular vines don't spread, but apparently weeping vines and twisting vines do. So maybe that's an oversight. I don't really know. But at least your regular vines will not spread. The next game rule they added is game rule command modification block limit. This is what it looks like. And I will set it to 200,000 right now. But basically what it is a fill command, clone command, or biome fill. And you know the pesky thing when you hit /fill, it tells you, oh no, the maximum amount of blocks is only 32,768. Well, if I change that game rule now, because we need 149,000 blocks, well, I can just simply do giant, oh, that was close. Giant fill commands like that. Did I break anything? I think we're good. Oh, that's wonderful. All right, now for some of the exciting things that this update will bring. Item displays. So it's a little bit it's a little complicated. I had to use generators online to kind of get everything to work properly, but you can set their view range, their shadow sizes, like the radius or the strength, like how dark it is. You can actually have it have a custom glow color and tell what color it is, the width and height of the entity itself. Billboard tells it how it's going to look at you. I will show a few of those examples here. Brightness, so if it's in a dark area, you can actually have it be lit up like it's in the sky or block levels of 15. The transformations and animations, I actually couldn't figure out how to work. Many people online have, and they have done some crazy things with it, and I'm super excited to see this get implemented in new maps and stuff like that. And then you can choose which item you want it to display. So I'm choosing to display a diamond pickaxe. Hitting that button just displays a diamond pickaxe, but you'll notice something. It's always facing me. Doesn't matter which way I go, it's facing me. And that is because the billboard is set to center. If I have the billboard fixed, then if you set its rotation, it will only ever display it in that rotation. If you set the billboard to vertical, for some reason, it rotates on a horizontal plane. Maybe it's fixed vertically, maybe that's what that means. But to me, if billboard is centering, means it's centering on your view. Vertical billboard should be centering the vertical on your view, but it's not. It's centering the horizontal, but it's really handy. And if I go up and down, you'll see that it stays up and down. Very cool. Horizontal billboard is exactly the opposite. If I go up, for some reason it goes down. Maybe because it's looking at this side here, so it technically goes up. There it is. And if I go down, then it kind of comes down to face me. Then we have a scale. So I've done scaling this up so it's bigger, and I've added a glow effect to this. So now it's going to glow it in a custom color that I chose. It's just a hex code, so yeah. Actually, that's not even hex. I think that's just a decimal. Rotation change. So this one here, I've got it on a billboard, but its rotation value has changed. Probably useful for like custom model data on items, so you can actually have it face a certain direction, but you're not sure how useful that is as a regular item. Next, entities. Block displays. They are pretty much the exact same as item displays, but they display a block. These are actually super cool because by default, the scale 1 by 1 lines up to a block perfectly. So you can have like animated doors that slide blocks out of the way. Oh, that's going to look so cool. You can have them scaled down, so you can have miniature blocks. And you can rotate them as well, just like you could with that guy. And then you can also scale them up as well to be bigger, and it's a big boy. You can walk right inside of these. Very, very cool. And you can scale in one direction only. So this is scaled in the Y direction. I think that's really cool. You can actually animate them to kind of stretch out. I think it's interpolate. And you have them kind of stretch into that in a certain length of time, which is really, really smooth looking. Next, we've got text displays, which is, again, more displays just for text. So just a raw text display. You rock! You can actually have tell raw info inside of it. You can have colors, multiple words with different colors, all that kind of fun stuff. This one says something like subscribe to Lubcubs. That seems like a very, very good idea. And then we got a scoreboard value. So this one took a little bit more MacGyvering to get it to work, but it says scoreboard tick 0, and if I add a scoreboard tick, it counts up. Oh, what? Something in my world is causing the server tick to be extremely high, and I don't really know what it is. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what it is. Game roll being set to 10,000. Much better. Let's try that again. So we spun that bad boy in, and quickly counts up to 90. Adds 30 ticks each time. And how I'm doing this is, so it spawns in with a tell raw using the objective tick, and it's targeting the closest player. And basically I'm just updating its NBT to update the objective every time. Another entity we have are interaction entities. That says interaction, trust me, does not say interacted. And this, for example, is a give item on right click. So do you see anything? No. But if I turn my hitbox on, you can see it. And what this is it has a width of 1 and a height of 2. So if I right click it, I get a cake. If I do /data get entity and try to get it, you'll see here that it has a response 1B, which makes my hand swing. And then whenever I interact with it, I'm actually reading an interaction data. So if this interaction entity has any data in the tag called interaction, then I'm going to give the target you can actually execute on attacker, controller, leasher, origin, owner, passengers, and target. Super cool stuff. And I'm going to give that target player, the person who right-clicked on it, a cake. And then I'm just resetting that data interaction to be nothing again, so that way it doesn't do it on a clock. Same thing goes for here. I can make redstone interaction. If I right-click in this air here, because you can't see it, right? If I right-click up there, I just spawned a redstone block in. And I got redstone getting rid of it, of course, but it's super handy for map making, right? And let's say you have a custom weapon, or you got a random event that you want to damage this mob here. Well, now, if I right-click it, nothing happens. But if I left-click it, I'm damaging that mob. Just like that. And how am I doing that? Well, now I'm checking the data of the interaction entity. And if that data has an attack, so basically it records. So if I grab this entity's data without resetting it, it actually records the attack data. And it tells you who is the attacker. So because it has a value inside of this, then I can now use that value. If there's a value in the attack, then I'm going to have the attacker, that's me, run damage to the nearest vindicator, and it's going to deal 12 damage of generic damage, nothing special, and it's going to do that damage by @P. I probably could have just used @S to be honest with you, but I was just throwing this together really quickly, and basically every time I do this, it deals 12 damage to the Vindicator. Again, I can't get over it. Very cool stuff. Now we just have a few little changes here and there. We got note blocks. Now it can show notes on top of them, and they can be used with hoppers. So I'm just going to demonstrate with a minecart hopper for now. Music disc goes in, music starts playing, you can see the notes. And if I place this minecart hopper here, it sucks it out and puts it back into the chest. I could do a regular hopper. The problem is this actually creates a 15 power redstone signal. And what that means, this hopper is actually being powered. So as soon as the song ends, the hopper is no longer be powered and it will be able to be sucked out. Another thing we can now do is swap armor easily. So if I just go into third person and I just right click, I just equip my armor, no problem. But now I can also do it with iron. Netherite, gold. I can just keep swapping them even though I'm already wearing some. A very simple quality of life change. Potions and tip potions are now colored so you can actually recognize them a bit easier. Potion effects times are now displayed properly. If you had too long of a time before, it would display XXXX. Now if I have a potion applied to me for 9,000 seconds, it puts 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 56 seconds. If you want said potion to be infinite, well, we now have the option to do infinite. And what it does is it actually gives you an infinite symbol. We've got new execute conditions and subcommands. Some of these are if, unless loaded. So if this coordinate is loaded, it will say this coordinate is loaded. That is spawn chunk, so of course it's loaded. If 280 is loaded, is not loaded because I'm using unless, it's going to say it is not loaded, which is correct. We also have if dimension. So if we are in the dimension overworld, we will say we're in overworld. If we are not in the end, we're going to say not in the end. Beautiful. And we now have execute on owner. So I'm just going to get a wolf down here. Now if we execute as the nearest wolf on its owner, which is now me, at my location, we're going to run the particle happy villager, which is great for your data packs that have custom pets and whatnot. So you'll notice these particles happen on me now. With the execute on, we have all these options: attacker, controller, leisure, origin, owner, passengers, and target. Attacker is if you're attacking a mob, its attacker will be you. Controller is if you're in like a boat and you're controlling the boat or you're controlling the horse, it will execute on the person controlling. Leisure, if you've leashed a mob and are pulling it around, you are its leisure. Origin is a little bit more generic. So like if you are shooting a projectile, then it's the origin of the arrow, where it first came into existence. Thrower, same thing. The item or whatever item you threw, snowball, ender pearl, stuff like that, it'll be the origin that it came into existence. Owners like your pets, your pet cat, your pet wolf, anything that has the owner tag will execute on its owner, you. Passengers, so if you're a passenger in a boat, but you're not the controller, it actually might execute on all passengers, but also passengers in a minecart, probably passengers on mounted mobs as well, I would imagine. Target is like the target of the attacker. So if I'm attacking a specific mob, then it's going to execute on the target, is how I believe that's work. Don't really know how it knows it, but that's kind of cool. Now we have the summon subcommand. So typically you do execute as @P, at S, run summon sheep. So it's going to execute at the nearest player at their location, and it's going to summon a sheep. Just like that. The summon subcommand is executing as @P, at S, but then it just, instead of having run here, it just says summon sheep, but I still need to have the @S. I don't understand why that's a thing. If you guys do know, down in the comment sections, please do let me know. We also have the positioned over subcommand. This one is actually super, super cool. So we're just going to copy this, and we're going to execute positioned over, and we get to choose our location here. So motion blocking no leaves, ocean floor, and world surface. So we're going to check out world surface first. We're going to go into this totally legitimate, not blown up TNT cave, and we're going to summon a husk at the world surface. And we just summoned a husk up there. So it chooses the closest, or the height map of the world's surface. If we come over here and kind of fly over this obvious ocean, then we're going to go on the ocean floor, we're going to summon a husk. Now he just spawns on the ocean floor, obviously an ocean. These last two I don't think are working properly. You've got motion blocking and motion blocking no leaves. So if I take motion blocking, in theory, that would be a leaf. If I throw myself at this leaf, it stops my motion. So if I do this, it should put me on top of the leaves. But it doesn't. It puts me on top of the concrete blocks. Okay, maybe I have it backwards. Maybe it's because I don't have the space. I may have just figured it out myself. Nope, I did not. Okay, maybe we have it backwards. Now if we do motion blocking, no leaves, to me that means it shouldn't target leaves. It doesn't. So yeah, they do the exact same thing. The motion blocking and the motion blocking no leaves. Not sure if they're supposed to do something different. If you guys know, also let me know down in the comment section below. There are just two more very, very small changes, and they are horse breeding is now more viable, which means it just means that you guys may actually want to breed horses more now. So if I breed these two guys up, the stats of this horse should be the same or a little bit better. Typically, when you bred horses together, you are more likely to get a really, like a dud horse. But now there's actually reason to breed them. This guy here should have better stats than these two. Beautiful. And the last, very simple change, creative inventory updates. I do believe this was actually added in 1.19.3, where now you got these different tabs, color blocks, everything's a little bit more organized. I just have one little nitpick with it. Redstone blocks. It's got 4 pressure plates and 2 buttons. But if I search for button, it doesn't have all of these buttons. I have to search for a particular button, but the whole point of the creative tab is to make collecting these or grabbing these items fast and easy. Every time going through this course here, I was trying to grab a warp button, and I had to go and search button every time. That wasn't easier. It was easier before when I just had the redstone tab, button, boom, done. So I don't know why, if those are just an oversight. If it is, Mojang, fix it. But even all the trapdoors, like I don't know why they aren't including all of the blocks. But yeah, that is 1.19.4. Kind of summed up real quickly. I think I missed a few things, but it is a super exciting update. Definitely some changes we've been wanting from Mojang for a long time, but we need a motion command. Motion. Right now, the only way to do motion is some very convoluted data pack, magic, wizardry stuff. So a motion command would be very, very nice, Mojang. But that is all we got time for today. If you guys liked the video, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys think of this channel, what you guys think of this video, and other things like that. But guys, most importantly, please do not forget to have a lovely day. Bye, guys.